Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to take up William Cooper's poem Light Shining Out of Darkness. God moves in a mysterious way is not just a popular saying, it's also the first line of William Cooper's 1773 poem Light Shining Out of Darkness. Cooper wrote the verse as part of collaboration with his friend John Newton to produce a set of worship hymns. The poem is a hymn centering on God as mysterious but benevolent and employs innumerable metaphors to express and foreground the greatness and mercy of God. It adopts the traditional Christian metaphor of light as knowledge, grace, and Christ, and includes familiar lines from the Bible, such as its opening line God moves in a mysterious way. Cooper's recurrent, anguishing struggles with depression inform his expression of faith in the unmerited love and favor of God. Even if life unfolds misery, there is God's grace and mercy hidden in the hardships of human life. This is what Cooper asserts through this hymn. Cooper's poem testifies to his evangelical faith, a faith that convinced him that he was evil and condemned by God. Cooper arguably drew inspiration from the Bible for some of the imagery in the poem. The poem comprises of 6 stanzas, each containing 4 lines. In each stanza, Cooper offers an assurance of God's unremitting kindness and charity and extols the quality of faith in the Almighty. Mysterious and wonderful ways of God. Here I recite the first stanza from the poem first. God moves in a mysterious way his wonders to perform. He plants his footsteps in the sea and rides upon the storm. This is the opening stanza of the poem. The opening stanza follows Cooper's description of God's mysteries and refers to storms to acknowledge that God's ways can seem inexplicable, thereby addressing an implied question. How can we reconcile human suffering with the promise of God's good providence? That God's ways far exceed human comprehension emerges from the imagery in line 3, in which God's course is likened to indiscernible steps in the sea. This imagery can also be understood along with that of the 4th line as a metaphorical demonstration of God's power to overcome raging storms and seas and perform wonders. The unfathomable and sovereign will of God. That is the central idea of the second stanza of the poem. Deep in unfathomable minds of never failing skills, he treasures up his bright designs and works his sovereign will. The second stanza metaphorically figures God's ways or designs as treasures that are concealed in unfathomable minds. The word unfathomable carries double meaning here, as it signifies that just as the mines containing gold and precious gems are found to be places of unfathomable depth in the earth, beyond the normal reach, where treasures might be discovered. Similarly, God's brilliant and beaming designs are incomprehensible, incalculable, immeasurable, and inscrutable for an ordinary human being. Scholars have noted that the imagery Cooper uses in this stanza echoes that found in the Bible's book of Job. The poet assures his readers that the human mind can never understand God's efforts or intentions, thereby relieving them of any burden to try to do so. The fact that God's will is sovereign makes God someone who is more than an earthly king, omnipotent, who reigns but remains unquestionably unfathomed, yet assuredly and indisputably, without a doubt, reliable. Yes, let us now move on to the next idea that is being asserted in the next stanza of the poem, where the poet establishes God as all merciful God who showers his blessings on his children. You fearful saints, fresh courage take. The clouds you so much dread are big with mercy and shall break in blessings on your head. This is the third stanza of the poem, and in this stanza, the poet addresses fearful yet faithful human beings and exhorts people to find courage in their faith and cherish the trust that God will ultimately relieve them from all kinds of distresses, pains, and sufferings. Once again, the poem invokes the image of a storm through clouds that are deconstructed here as metaphors of trouble and turmoil, but ultimately transformed into means and measures of God's mercy. The poet comforts the readers by explaining that while clouds often signal a storm, a metaphor for the problems and miseries that plague humankind, these clouds shall assuredly shower comfort and blessings. The deliberate use of the modal auxiliary shall break in blessings on your head derives its extensive connotation from the biblical reference to shall that conveys the high moral seriousness in an exalted manner with an elevated positive sense given to the blessings of God. Trust God for His grace and smiling face. This is what Cooper asserts and conveys in the next stanza of the poem. Trust God for His grace and smiling face. Judge not the Lord by feeble sense, but trust Him for His grace. Behind a frowning providence, He hides a smiling face. In the fourth stanza, the poet commands readers not to misjudge but trust God for His benevolence and kindness. Generally, human beings, when faced with adversities in life, are soon weak enough to be dejected and disappointed, and hence miscalculate or underestimate God. People easily give up faith in distress. In the hour of difficulty, human imagination, boundless though it seems, is unable to endure the frowning providence and see the hidden smiling face of God. Cooper assures people that the clouds may look threatening, but that would be insufficient a misconception resulting from the infirm or frail belief of humankind whose feeble sense fails to imagine and interpret God's grand designs and envision the wonderful ways God envisions the wonderful ways God performs miracles in human life. Blessings always come disguised in the form of challenges and hardships. Because God's ways are entirely beyond human understanding, we must trust that they are ultimately benevolent. Once again, Cooper's poem reaffirms the words of the Bible. We look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. Unquote. In the next stanza, that is the last but one, the poet asserts that the outcome of the constant efforts of mankind to triumph over the miseries is sweet. Hence, I have titled this section as Sweet Will Be the Flower. His purposes will ripen fast, unfolding every hour. The bud may have a bitter taste, but sweet will be the flower. The line, sweet will be the flower, is a reminiscent of Shelley also, who in his Ode to the West Wind has very candidly declared that if winter comes, can spring be far behind, gesturing towards optimism in life. Cooper continues his assurance in this stanza also by clarifying that human nature cannot comprehend the Lord's intentions because the fearful Supreme Being, often seen as a vengeful and unforgiving guardian or warden, is actually prepared to offer human beings a gentle grace rather than punishment. Cooper offers the flower as a metaphor to remind readers that the raw bud may actually have a bitter taste, but if one remains patient and waits until it matures and blooms into flower, one will be rewarded with the sweetness of the flower, that is, its fragrance or taste. The poem attests his firm faith in God as a custodian of human well-being, for he affirms that God's purposes will ripen fast, and sweet will be the flower. For those who believe in God's grace, the reward metaphorically conveyed through the sweet flower shall remain eternal and constant in life. The stanza reminds us of, as I pointed out earlier, Shelley's famous line, "If winter comes, can spring be far behind?" And at the same time, it also reminds one of the famous quote by Shakespeare that says, "Sweet are the uses of adversity, which like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head, and this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything." Cooper finds consolation in the thought that circumstances marked and marred by misfortune, calamity and distress, or unfavorable situations may or can eventually turn out to be blessings in disguise if we face adversity with resilience and courage. There are most of the times a silver lining in the worst of situations. Adversity teaches us to be strong, patient, and courageous through struggles, trials, and tribulations in life. Yes, the last stanza, which is summing up God's intentions. God is his own interpreter. Blind unbelief is sure to err and scan his ways in vain. God is his own interpreter and he will make it plain. Cooper concludes with a final statement that God is his own interpreter, as he begins or opens with the line that God moves in a mysterious ways. So here also he cherishes the same mystery, where he establishes the fact that God is the only one who can interpret his ways or his intentions. Cooper concludes with a final statement that God is his own interpreter, reiterating that God carries out his plans in a mysterious way, that God alone knows his sovereign plan, and he will reveal it in due course of time. He warns that those who lack faith in him, or those who attempt to examine, scrutinize, or scan and fathom his mind, are certain to commit a mistake or an error. Because blind unbelief is sure to err, Cooper stands with those who will keep their unfailing trust intact in the Almighty. Through the deviant expression blind unbelief, because we normally use the phrase blind faith, blind unbelief is a deviation from the norm. The poet here foregrounds the hopelessly blind quality of unbelief of the common people, who are susceptible to take the acts of God at their face value, and does not have the ability to see the hidden, indubitable, kindly designs of God chartered for the welfare of the humankind. However, it is only through unquestionably constant belief in God's benevolence that human beings can experience God's grace and mercy. That is an unchallenging fact. And finally, to conclude, we can say that Cooper does not express doubt or disbelief in the divine promise of light shining out of darkness. The poem celebrates optimism and establishes God's mysterious way as an evidence of his infinite wisdom that far exceeds human understanding, and thereby merits continual trust all the more, promising sweetness in life, promising sweet flowers in life to the mankind. Thank you very much.